Hello everyone, and welcome back to Train Talk. In today's episode, we will finally finish out our look at passenger rail equipment updates in 2025 as we explore what's going on at the various commuter railroads in the eastern US and Canada. We've come all the way across the US, making our way from California to the Pacific Northwest, and then across the Midwestern US. With 11 more railroads to finish things off, we still have a lot to get to in this video, so let's get started. Let's begin with a look at TriRail. TriRail began the process of acquiring new equipment in 2023 when it received a grant from the Federal Transit Administration. The agency wants to replace some of the oldest pieces of equipment in the fleet, including 6 locomotives, 12 Bombardier passenger cars, and 6 Bombardier cab cars. The new locomotives will likely replace TriRail's GP49 units that were purchased used from Norfolk Southern in 2006. When announced in May of 2023, TriRail's goal was to have the new equipment built within 5 years. However, no final equipment orders have been announced as of March 2025. Along with new equipment, TriRail announced the debut of a new livery in the spring of 2023. The new vinyl wraps are being applied to all TriRail cars and locomotives and feature a dark blue background with orange and green highlights. Leaving Florida, we make a giant leap all the way up to Virginia Railway Express in the Washington, D.C. metro area. VRE has joined onto Metra's order for new Caradia multi-level cars from Alstom, purchasing 21 coach cars. 11 of these cars are to be used on the Fredericksburg line, with the remaining 10 on the Manassas line. This order was placed in June of 2021, and delivery will likely begin after the first Metra cars begin to arrive in 2026. VRE has options to purchase 44 additional trailer cars and 4 cab cars. Next, we continue north to Philadelphia for a look at SEPTA's regional rail system. There isn't too much going on at SEPTA new equipment-wise, other than the cancellation of SEPTA's order for 45 new bi-level commuter cars. These were being constructed by Chinese corporation CRRC, but due to issues with the project, SEPTA canceled the contract in April of 2024. The cars would have been used with SEPTA's ACS-64 electric locomotives. It remains to be seen if SEPTA will order other equipment in place of these bi-levels. Just across the Delaware River, New Jersey Transit is in the process of accepting a large order of new multi-level electric multiple-unit commuter cars. In October of 2024, New Jersey Transit received the first of 174 new cars that will be replacing the agency's fleet of Aero 3 self-propelled electric cars. The new multi-levels will be made up of a mix of both powered and unpowered cars, as well as both cab coach and trailer coach cars. None of the new cars have entered service as of early 2025, but they are expected to begin operating later this year. Deliveries are planned to continue through 2026. NJT also has some new locomotives that just arrived and are now in service. Starting in 2017, with an 8-unit add-on order in 2020, New Jersey Transit purchased a total of 25 new ALP 45A dual-mode diesel-electric locomotives. These were to be built by Bombardier Transportation, which has now been sold to Alstom. New ALP 45s will replace some of the older and more unreliable PL42AC units. Delivery of all locomotives was completed in the spring of 2023. The next 3 commuter operations we'll take a look at that are getting new equipment all run trains out of New York City. Let's start with Metro North. In 2020, Metro North ordered 27 SC42DM dual-mode diesel-electric locomotives from Siemens Mobility. This order will be used to replace General Electric P32 ACDM units that are currently used on several Metro North routes east of the Hudson River. Like the Genesis locomotives they will be replacing, the SC42DMs have an onboard diesel engine and a third rail electrical pickup for both diesel or full electric operation. The first two locomotives, numbers 301 and 302, were completed in the spring of 2024 and sent for testing to the Federal Railroad Administration's test track in Pueblo, Colorado. The locomotives were finally delivered to Metro North in the fall of that year, and testing on Metro North routes is now underway. Several additional units are currently in production, with locomotive 303 nearing completion as of late January of 2025. Delivery on all 27 SC-42s is expected to be completed in 2027. As part of the contract with Siemens, there are options for an additional 171 locomotives, including some additional orders that have already been placed. The most recent add-on order for additional locomotives was announced on February 24th of 2025 and consists of 13 battery electric charger locomotives for Metro North. These locomotives will be fitted with a pantograph rather than a third rail electrical pickup and will operate on battery power in and out of New York's Penn Station. Batteries will be recharged at the end of the line. All 13 locomotives are expected to be completed by sometime in 2030. Using some more of Metro North's options for additional locomotives, the board of the Long Island Railroad voted to order 44 dual-mode chargers from Siemens Mobility in December of 2024. These will eventually replace the DE30AC and DM30AC type locomotives currently used on all Long Island Railroad locomotive-hauled trains. Deliveries are anticipated to begin in 2027 and conclude in 2031. Also adding on to the Metro North charger order is the Connecticut Department of Transportation, which purchased 6 dual-mode locomotives in 2022. These will work alongside the Metro North diesel-electric dual-mode chargers on commuter trains out of New York City, including several lines that extend into Connecticut. Deliveries on these locomotives are anticipated to begin between 2025 and 2027. In addition to locomotives, Connecticut is also purchasing new single-level commuter cars. A total of 60 cars were ordered from Alstom in August of 2023. These will replace all of Connecticut's locomotive-hauled cars, including both those used on the Hartford line as well as Metro North services out of New York that extend into Connecticut. There are options for an additional 313 cars. The first cars are expected to arrive in 2026. Our final U.S. commuter operation that we will look at is Boston's MBTA commuter rail. The Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority's commuter trains have gone through some interesting changes over the last several years. One of the largest projects underway is a major locomotive overhaul that is nearing its final stages. This began back in June of 2017 when the board authorized a contract with Motive Power Inc. to rebuild and upgrade 10 F40PH-2C locomotives into F40PH-3C types. The rebuild contract was expanded to include another 27 units in 2019, covering the entirety of the F40PH-2C fleet. Overhauled locomotives feature updated electronics, diagnostics, and control equipment. As of early 2025, all remaining unrebuilt F40s have been removed from service pending overhaul, with only 8 locomotives yet to be returned to the MBTA. At least half of these final 8 units had undergone post-rebuild testing at the locomotive rebuild site in Erie, Pennsylvania by the end of February 2025. In addition to the F40s, MBTA's 2 MP36 locomotives it acquired from Frontrunner were also sent to MPI for rebuild. Contrasting with the Motive Power rebuilds, some of MBTA's GP40MC fleet is being rebuilt at their Rochester, Massachusetts shop facility. Some of the work being performed includes main generator, prime mover, and truck overhauls, new braking systems, and new control system installation. This project is progressing slower than the F40 overhauls, with only a small portion of the fleet completed as of early 2025. Throughout the last decade, MBTA has purchased many bi-level commuter cars from Hyundai Rotem. Between 2012 and 2024, 87 cars were delivered and entered service. The latest order for 41 additional cars is expected to begin deliveries in 2026. These new cars, combined with already in-service bi-levels, will bring about the retirement of most single-level commuter coaches on the MBTA, a long-time goal for the transit agency. As of 2024, all single-level cab cars have been retired. The last major project going on right now at MBTA is the purchase of new electric trains. In 2024, MBTA announced plans to electrify their Fairmount line with new battery electric trains. A request for proposals was released in January of 2025 for 7 new battery electric train sets. No manufacturer has been selected as of March 2025, but MBTA anticipates the first trains to enter service in 2028. Before we close out this video, as well as our passenger rail equipment update series, there are 3 commuter railroads in Canada that are going through equipment changes. Back on the West Coast, Vancouver's West Coast Express is undergoing some locomotive updates. In 2022, the railroad began sending out its F59 PHI locomotives for heavy overhaul at Progress Rail in Georgia. The first locomotive to be rebuilt was number 903, returning in the summer of 2023. West Coast Express also purchased a rebuilt F59 PH locomotive to serve as a spare while the rest of the fleet goes in for work. Locomotive 907 was built as GO Transit 533 and served as a lease unit for several years. It entered service for West Coast Express in the spring of 2023. In Toronto, Ontario, GO Transit's biggest project is the overhaul of many of their older bi-level commuter cars to keep them in a state of good repair. Since 2021, 3 different contracts have been signed with Alstom and Ontario Northland to overhaul a total of 394 bi-level cars, most of which were built by Bombardier Transportation between 2008 and 2015. In 2021, Alstom was contracted to overhaul 94 cars. Fast forwarding to January of 2025, GO Transit awarded a 181 car overhaul contract to Alstom and one for 121 cars to Ontario Northland. Cars from the first Alstom rebuild agreement have already returned to GO and are now entering service. Cars overhauled as part of the latest Alstom rebuild contract are anticipated to be delivered between 2026 and 2030. As mentioned very briefly in the California commuter update, GO Transit has acquired several F59 PH locomotives from Metrolink. Some of the locomotives will be used as a parts supply, while others will be rebuilt by Ontario Northland to join the existing fleet for potential service expansions. Trains Magazine reported that as of late December of 2024, at least 8 locomotives have made their way north, including former Metrolink units 854, 858, 860, 864, and 865. Our final commuter railroad for this video is EXO, formerly AMT, in Montreal, Quebec. I don't have much video material to use for this section, so this update will be relatively brief. First, EXO is receiving 10 new charger locomotives that will be used for replacing all of their F59PH units. The first locomotive, number 1400, arrived in November of 2024 and will begin testing soon. As of January of 2025, at least 4 EXO chargers model EC42 were in production at Siemens in Sacramento. The last new equipment update is EXO's purchase of 44 bi-level commuter cars from CRRC. 8 of these will be cab cars, with 36 built as standard coaches. The first cars entered service in June of 2024. Well, that does it for this episode of Train Talk and the rest of the Passenger Rail Equipment Update series. That was a ton of information to go through, so thank you all for joining me. Everything from new locomotives and cars to battery and hydrogen cars, new paint schemes, and just about everything in between is on the horizon. As always, a special thanks to all my supporters on Patreon. Do you want to see a new train video every week? Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to receive notifications whenever I post to YouTube. And, if that's not enough, there's even more train and railroad themed content on my other social media pages. I'll be back next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time for a brand new railroading adventure right here on the YouTube channel. That's it for now. Until next time, I'm Mike Armstrong. I'll see you down the line. Thanks for watching.